Zac Mason, dude, how you doing, brother?
Better now that we're on this live talk together.
Pumped. Great to have you here today, brother. Before we get started, I just want to say, dude, I am super pumped up today. As you can see here, middle of winter, and I'm firing. I'm edgy and ready to go, my man. For everyone who doesn't know you, who are you and why are you so freaking awesome?
That is the best question. So, who am I? Zac Mason. I live in Sydney and I am an online fitness coach for CEOs and business owners. Do you want me to explain kind of how I got to here real quick? Or
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, sure. So, super long story made as short as possible is I wasn't always in fitness. Growing up, I wasn't exactly, the overweight, obese kid, but I was very insecure with my body, low self-esteem. I, hate taking my shirt off. And I would look up to all the guys, all the fit, footy players, soccer players, and guys who had amazing bodies and just be like, man, like I just wasn't born like them. I can't have that. And so I never pushed myself. I never learned and just wasted years and years and years of training and trying to be like them, but never actually knowing how or even asking for help. Then as you come into the workforce, I was working in construction, similar to you, but more in the office. Yeah, it was a classic case of, office-based lifestyle, having lunches out all the time, snacking. There's always cookies and biscuits and chips, and always in the office. And then it would be going out and having dinners 4 or 5 times a week with colleagues and stuff like that. And that was all fun, but then I started to realize, like, I'm not doing any exercise. I'm not doing any sport. And looking around, a lot of people around me, especially those senior to me, whether they're in their 30s, their 40s, 50s, almost everyone that was in my environment was suffering some kind of health problem, whether they were 10, 20 kilos or more overweight, whether, they had high cholesterol, something that was slowing them down and stopping them from living a high quality life. And then I started to think about that, and like, you know what, I can make money for the rest of my life until the day I die. Anyone can do that. But one thing that I can lose forever is my health. So I kind of had this epiphany, like maybe I should start focusing on my health and working on that. So I went back to the gym, but again, I didn't know what the hell I was doing after all those years. So I started training with other people, trying to find gym mates. Yeah, a friend kind of said to me, like, why don't you compete? And I was like, why would I want to do that? Get on a stage and in a G-string, flex my muscles. Like, it just seemed like the weirdest, furthest thing that I would ever want to do. And he kept kind of persisting me with it, and we kept training, and then eventually he convinced me. And I was like, you know what? If I do this, people are going to see how great I am. They're going to see my body. They're going to think I'm amazing. I'm going to have all this respect and credibility because I have a great body. And that was kind of my driving force. I was heavily externally motivated to do this. And I stayed the course. It was super tough. I almost quit like 10 times. My girlfriend wanted to leave me. My family got the shits and thought I was a joker. It was not easy to do. I went all in. And in 2016, after my last show in the Philippines, I had a great outcome. I was really happy with it. Like, after coming off stage, like shortly after that, kind of hit me like, what the hell am I doing with this? Like, am I going to just be this dude who just turns up every year after dieting for 9 months to look like a cartoon figure on a stage for 5 minutes, to then go home with a medal or a trophy to post on Instagram and flex even harder? And for what? I wasn't helping anyone. I wasn't doing anything. And that's when I kind of questioned my whole purpose. Like, what the hell am I doing? And then going through those thoughts and kind of not being inspired, not being motivated, led me to the internal world. And that's when I started working on the inside and started figuring out, you know what, like, I want to do this for me. I want to do this so that I'm not 40 or 50 and going, oh, I wish I could go surfing with my kids. I wish I could take them to the park. I wish I could go play tennis with them. Like, if anything, I want to be in my older years coming up. We're all going to be there at some point. I want to be, giving the younger guys a run for their money, but not to prove anything, but just to, in a way, like, just to do it for my own satisfaction, my own fulfillment, like, I'm making the most of my body. Yep. And it's not slowing me down. It's not stopping me from doing everything. So then it became an internal journey. And since then, I've, just been slowly chipping away, staying consistent, staying lean, learning the methods that I used. Well, I already learned the methods. Now I apply them and transfer that to my clients and teach them the method so that they have the same perspective that I have on health and fitness. Yep. And they can see through all the bullshit, and they know that it's not about whether it's keto or fasting. It's not about whether you eat bread or potato. There's a lot more other factors you need to consider. Yep. And once you know them and you master them, it becomes a skill, just like riding a bike, driving a car, and you keep that for life. And then you never have to go for these stupid 8-week challenges and crash dieting and shakes and pills and popping and all that crap, because you can just do what works. So now that's my mission, is to just give people the truth. And I wish I could plug a USB into my head and then, like, transfer the data over. Maybe one day with Elon Musk's Neuralink, maybe we can do that.
It's a great idea, man.
Maybe one day we can just transfer all of Zac's health and fitness data to someone else's brain and they get it. But for now, I've got to teach it. I've got to coach my clients, and I love doing it. Like, I've had so many business opportunities, from everything from working with my dad again and doing property investing, going to Fitness First and working my way up there. All these opportunities, I keep coming back to coaching. I keep doubling down. I keep investing more time, more energy, more learning. So I'm like, this is my path now. Without talking for another 35 minutes, that's the long story, somewhat short, medium. Long story made medium. There you go.
Yeah, dude. And by the way, if Elon Musk is watching this or watching the recording, make sure you hit up Zach for that idea as well, because you might have to patent that, bro.
Yeah, trademarked. Can't take it. It's mine now.
Dude.
Neuralink Fitness IP.
Mate, so how did you transition from your job into the online coaching or face-to-face as well?
For me, it started face-to-face. Well, it's kind of a funny story. When I was competing, I never wanted to be a personal trainer. I just wanted to do it for myself. Like when I stopped competing, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to do this for me now. And then it started itching away at me because I was like, I have all this knowledge. I've done it. Like, why didn't they teach me this in school? Why didn't my mum or dad teach me this? Why the hell am I figuring all this out at 24 years old? Like, why? Like, I should have known all this already. This is ridiculous. And I was really shocked and kind of pissed off that what I just done and what I just learned is so simple and so basic, yet no one really knows it, except for like people like yourself and I who have been through the trenches, right? But it doesn't have to be that way. Like if they taught this in school, it would just be like writing your name on a bit of paper. Oh yeah, 100 calories. If you eat that, this is what it's going to do to your body. But no one thinks like that, you know? So frustratingly, I thought, you know what, I can do something with this. And then there were a few people who could see my results and they were curious. So I started coaching people for free because I just wanted to see, okay, does my shit really work? Does it actually work? Yeah, I got people results for free and I was like, okay, yeah, it's not just me blowing smoke. It actually does work. And if people do my method and they apply it, they'll get great results. And that gave me some confidence. And then, you know, it's, you know, when like all the doors just open up at the right time, when you're on the right path, and then like the perfect personal training accreditation course popped up at the right time for the exact perfect time frame. So I applied for that. And after applying for that, the perfect job opened up in the perfect gym spot that I wanted to be in for the clientele I wanted to work with. Just opened up. I got that, and just kind of, you know, one logical step to the next. So I wish I could say there was some crazy, sexy blueprint behind it, but really it was just following something that felt right. And then what's the next logical step? What's the next logical step? So yeah, started working in a gym as a membership consultant, you know, signing up people and, you know, trying to pressure them to sign up. I wasn't pressuring them, but you know, like the fitness first people have a bad reputation, but
yeah,
we didn't do that at any time. Okay. Anytime fitness has a good reputation. Doing that. And then I saw what the PTs were doing and I was like, they're doing nothing that I've done. Like they're just hanging out and chatting to their clients while they do burpees and Russian twists and stuff that they could do on their own, but they're paying someone to do. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can definitely do this. So yeah, that gave me confidence again. Next logical step, became personal trainer. And it was right about that time I started looking at online. I actually chatted to one of the guys that you've worked with, Chris. Yeah, Chris. Chatted with him. Chatted with Chris, chatted with Lynn Trin, chatted with a few of them. And I was kind of like, I'm brand new to the space. What should I do? And like, gratefully, they didn't push me to like sign up with them. They said, look, go train people for at least a year or two, get some stripes under your belt, like learn the game. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. So that's what I did. And then in 2018, I was like, I'm ready to go online now. I've tested my method. It works. I know how to train people in person. So I understand the biomechanics of the body, you know, how to do the exercises, whether it's barbells, dumbbells, cables, using the plyometric type stuff, the TRX, kettlebells, like done all that shit. I hope I'm allowed to swear on this, but no offense.
That's all good.
Went online, almost gave up 100 times, invested in so many different mentors, learned so many different methods. And yeah, it was just before COVID hit, I like almost threw the towel in. I was like, this is all just too hard, you know. And then a good friend of mine saw what I was doing and he thought I was a lot more successful than what I actually was. So he was asking me questions about my business and I'm like, look, man, I see you're crushing it and I can promise you're way further ahead than me. And he was a bit shocked. So then he started sharing what he was doing and he really wanted to help me because there was a few little mistakes I was making and he just helped me fix that. And I saw the light at the end of the tunnel and just went, I'm going all in. And then, yeah, since then it's been growing like exponentially. Like, yeah, I'm pretty grateful for where I am today, having not given up. So
good on you, dude. And like you mentioned before, face to face and online, totally different beast altogether.
Yeah, like you can't compare it. And when people say like, oh, I can get a trainer in the gym for, you know, $50 an hour, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Got yourself a deal, but come in 12 months and tell me how it went. Not to put shit on PTs, but
no, of course not.
It's just how it is.
Dude, and I also think as well, like it's more than just training and plans and nutrition and all guidance. It goes so much deeper than that online. And that's why I want to go to the next question for you is how has prioritizing your daily health and wellness, your fitness, helped you with being a business owner?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because you are. You're not just a
Yeah.
PT, an online
Yeah,
trainer.
exactly.
You're a coach
Yeah.
or an expert in what you do. Dude, you're running a business here. There's other things that come into play. So tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of similarities between fitness and business because it's all about consistency and it's all about doubling down on what works and doing less of what doesn't and making it fit your lifestyle. So what I've learned is that I wouldn't enjoy running my business if I didn't know I had that fitness side to focus on in between. So like it breaks up my day, relieves that mental tension on a day-to-day basis, and kind of balances out the body and gives you that clarity, that mental clarity, and time away from stress, so that when you come back in, you're just a bit more centered, focused, and you feel good. But it's hard to say exactly. Like, and the reason I say this is because I've been so consistent.
Yeah.
I forget what it was like to not train. So the only time I remember like the drawbacks of not training is if I don't train for 3 or 4 days for some reason, which is very rare. So let's say if I had a week off because I was unwell, then I'd really feel like crap. And I'd be like, whoa, how do people function like this? Like my back hurts, my energy feels low. I don't even feel like getting up and doing anything. I just feel like a sloth. But by having that regular intervals of training, it just keeps it keeps your metabolism higher. So that means your body's, generating more energy. It's more awake. You've got that energy to use and to burn. It's like an example I like to use is like kids. When kids are, you would know, but when they're very young and they don't have structured and routine, they go to sleep, batteries recharge, and when they know they're full of energy, they want to use it.
Yeah.
But when you don't feel energized, you won't want to do the things that make you feel energized. It's that negative feedback loop. So to wrap that up, the training creates a positive feedback loop. So if you're training, you're feeling good. You can be more positive, more optimistic, more centered and present, more stable in your energy, your thoughts will be more level as well. And that will cross over into your business and have that wash over effect. That's the benefit I've found. And everyone's got a different benefit, but that's for me what it is. And then for some of my clients, it's something different. Like for them, I've got clients who like to get up in the morning and do a quick walk because they feel super awake and they just want to pump out their work. I've got other clients who like to train after work because for them, it de-stresses them and they can go home and relax and not overthink work and disrupt their sleep. It's really what you want to make of it. But if you're not doing it, you're missing out. Like you got to be in it to win it. So,
and I think too, what we're talking about here is it creates, obviously, when you become consistent, you get disciplined, and therefore you've put a bit of structure in your life. You've got in place. Yeah. And when we use like what you just said about being a child, we all know when we were growing up, if we come from a household of structure and rules from our family, what happens is we had structure and rules, but when we leave home and we have to become independent, sometimes for some people that can just go to the dial can go to the other side where it's like you've got too much freedom now. And what I learned from a great mentor of mine, Craig Ballantyne, who I'm forever grateful for to have worked with, is structure and rules equals freedom. So when you have that structure in place, whether you've got your sleep schedule dialed in, you've got your workout calendar mapped out, you've got your meals mapped out, you've got everything sort of scheduled in a way that even when, maybe life doesn't go the way you want it, you've created a system for yourself to be able to manage and be flexible when life throws you a curveball.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So like, I love being disciplined. I love challenging myself. I love being uncomfortable because it helps me to build a strong body, strong mind, and really just become better at life. Like, especially if we look at like the last year, think about all the people that have just been at home doing nothing, being less active, haven't been able to socialize. Maybe you've just been watching too much TV, dude, that plays a huge impact onto your mindset. But I think when you've got those rules and structure and those healthy habits in place, like we're talking about, you become very solution focused rather than like, why is this happening to me? It's like, cool, how can I fix this?
Yeah. You build, and everything you're saying now like comes back to full circle. When I said I realized that competing was for everyone else, and then I had to find why I was doing it for me. That's all the reasons why. It's that mental resilience. It's that discipline. It's the not relying on willpower, but relying on your habits. It's the structure that gives you freedom. It's that sanity, that knowing you're just working towards becoming better every day, not for anyone else, but for yourself.
Yeah.
But by doing that, you can be better for everyone else. If you're expecting somebody else to come and do it for you or to push you every single time, you are like playing at the lowest level. because as soon as someone steps out of that ecosystem, you are FUCK'd.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
And I see this happen all the time. And this is why I say that personal trainers are not the best solution, because people, I'm just giving this as an example, but people join a gym and then they try to do it themselves. They realize, oh, this is too hard. I need a trainer, because if I pay a trainer, I'll turn up and he's going to push me. Now, if the trainer disappears, which has happened to a lot of my clients, they stop going because the accountability isn't there. If they stop using the trainer, they lose motivation. They don't want to do it themselves, and they regain all the weight until such time as they go, oh, I need to go back to my trainer again 12 months later. And they start the loop over again. No education, no discipline built, no sustainable lifestyle habits in place, no real structure, and no education. Like, the only reason we graduated high school is because we got educated.
Yeah.
The only reason my clients come to me is because they were not educated like I have been, and they want it. They want to know what I know. That's what makes a good client. If you're looking for someone to wipe your bum, hold your hand, spoon feed you, forever FUCK, until you change that mindset.
Yeah. Dude, mate, that's a slap in the face of the truth right there, brother.
No offense intended, but if you do take offense,
I know.
then if someone does take offense, that's a good thing. Look into it, go within, and ask yourself, why am I getting offended here? Why am I triggered?
Dude, dude, so true, man. Bro, what is the main goal that you have your clients come to you for? So busy CEOs, executives, business owners, what do they mainly come to you for?
Yeah, good question. Plain and simple, it's to get that excess weight off, but to learn how to keep it off.
Yep.
And that's the way it's framed, and that's what we focus on. But in that process, it's not just, all about weight loss. It's about learning the philosophy and the psychology behind doing it, and what actually works versus what you think works, and what your cousins, friends, bodybuilders, mates, ex-Mr. Olympia told you. Like, it's by the time you come, like, a lot of my clients, when they finish the program, they see the whole fitness industry in a different perspective, because it's not just, oh, you lost a kilo, great. It's like, why did you lose that kilo? How did you do it? How are you going to get the next kilo off? Is the first 5, are you going to get the next 5 off the same weight? Probably not. It's going to change. Just like business, when you hit 10K, it's very different to hitting 1K, and then getting to 20 is different game again. So very similar approach.
Dude, I love that. Mate, what are some of the challenges that you're seeing CEOs and business owners face with their health and wellness?
Challenges, like common challenges that I see specifically before they're working with me, for example, is that they just don't have a clear structure in place.
Yeah.
They're not following anything. They're just trying to wing it, do their own research, looking for a cookie cut system that they can just plug in and hold their breath for however long, and then eventually they're going to gasp for air and go back to their normal habits. Like, they're stuck on the yo-yo, they're stuck on the roller coaster, and they don't know that there is another way. They think it's just like, if they don't like the shakes, then maybe it's 75 hard. If 75 hard is too hard, which it is for most people, maybe it's a Whole30 Weight Watchers style approach. Or if it's not that, maybe it's F45. It's always like, what's the external thing?
Yeah.
So it's the lack of structure. It's looking for an external solution. Lack of obviously the education which comes when doing it. But also, as well, I think this is kind of underrated and overlooked, is like accountability. And I use myself as an example. Like, I have a business coach. I have a mindset coach that I'm currently paying. Like, why would I do that? I've read 100 books. Shouldn't I know all the mindset stuff by now? Well, yeah, theory's great, but try to apply all of it. Not as easy, right? So you pay attention to what you pay for. So if you have a goal and you value that goal, and that goal is to, say, lose 15 or 20 kilos and keep it off, well, what is the actual value of achieving that? Is it worth $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000? If you could get it right now, what would you pay to get that? And that's going to tell you what you value it at. And if you don't go and pay that for it, don't expect to get the result. So if you say, oh yeah, my body's worth $100,000, but you're not prepared to put 1,000 down to get the body you want, you're a joker. So stop being a joker, get real, and face the facts. Or stop complaining and put up with it, and don't change. They're your options.
Yep.
Sorry, can I take this call real quick? Is that all right?
Yeah, dude, go.
Sorry, I usually wouldn't, but it's the missus, so I've got to check something.
Dude, go for it, dude.
It's not a call. Is this urgent call?
This is how we do it on Facebook Live. We keep it raw and we keep it real. Don't we, Zach?
Sorry, I normally wouldn't answer, but the dog's got to go to the vet. and the missus is calling me, so I'm just like, what the hell's going on? We're back.
Zach, I just want to say, dude, I'm so thankful that you did that because it just shows that like we're on Facebook Live right now, we're
I
recording,
forgot about that.
and yeah, and it's going out to people,
Yeah.
and a lot of other
Okay.
people will see it. And you know what? I love it because that's life. It's not perfect.
Yeah. Look, my
Like,
office looks great, but if you look at my desk, I'm not going to show you my desk.
yeah. And dude, and this is
Yeah.
exactly why when it comes to fitness and health, there's never a perfect time. There's never a perfect way.
Yeah.
We're all trying to figure this out together.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like
You know
at the
what I
end of the day, like we know what works,
Yeah.
but like I say to my clients, like the method is the method. How you apply the method is going to be different to the last client and the next client.
Yeah.
You know, just like how you speak English is a little bit different to how I speak English. It's still English,
Yeah.
but we speak it in different ways. We use different vocabulary, different tones, different, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So you got to be okay. And yeah, I suppose I want to emphasize this. You've got to be okay for it to not work immediately. It's okay. Like if your business didn't make 10 grand in its first month, you're going to shut it up and go get a job? No.
Gold. Brilliant. It's so
Like,
true.
yeah. So be okay with not dropping 2 kilos on day one or day two.
Yeah.
Use the data to tell you what's going on. And that's another mistake people make. They're not tracking shit. They're not writing it down. They couldn't tell you how much they ate. They couldn't tell you how many workouts or steps they did. And people think like, oh yeah, but this, you know, it's too hard. I said, okay, well, if it's too hard, then don't expect to change. You know, if you want to make money in your business, you've got to check your profit. You've got to check your expenses. Otherwise, how the hell do you know if you're in profit if you're going backwards? You know, if you want to save money, you've got to budget. You want to lose body fat, you've got to budget your nutrition. Calories is like dollars, right? We track dollars, we track calories, the same thing.
Absolute gold there, brother. Zach,
Thanks, mate.
what 3 tips would you give? What advice would you give the audience in the next 7 days if they applied it to get results in advance, man?
Well, I'm just gonna give the tips that I would tell my clients. I mean, you don't have to pay me for this. Yeah, first thing is start tracking what you're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you can't improve it, and you don't know what's not working. They focus so much on what is working, they overlook what's not.
Yeah.
It's the what's not that's going to guide you to what is.
Yes.
So by tracking, you'll know like, oh, I did really well up until 4 o'clock and then I screwed up. Where's the bottleneck? 4 o'clock onwards. So don't worry about your breakfast and your fasting and blah, 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 if you're screwing up at 4 o'clock, but you wouldn't know that if you didn't track it, right? And don't think that you're a wizard magical person that could store it all in your head, because if that was the case, the ATO and IRS wouldn't exist because they wouldn't need to track numbers. They'll just assume that you're going to pay your taxes and it'll be the right amount. Okay? Track it. Just don't care. In your phone, on a whiteboard, in Messenger, on a bit of paper, it does not matter. Just track it. Second thing would be get a Fitbit.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. The reason why I say that is because without it, it's like going to your accountant without your Xero or your QuickBooks and saying, all right, do my taxes. You just can't. So if a client asks me for help and they say they've done X, Y, Z, I go, thank you for informing me. I'm going to go check the data to make sure that what you're saying is correct.
Yeah.
You're not blowing smoke my way.
Yep.
I check the data and I say, well, based on what you've done, here's what actually happened and here's what you need to focus on. And this is what's working. This is what's not working. Get a Fitbit, learn how to read the data and track it. That kind of leads into the first point, but that's a step you can take. Start writing stuff down, get a Fitbit. It's kind of like 2 things. The third one, it's a combination of, I'll try to squeeze 2 into 1, but you want to start moving more. I don't care how you move, whether it's walking to work, walking to get groceries or whatever you need to do. Just move more, because that's the bulk of where your energy is going to be burnt each day. It's not going to be burnt in the gym. Yes, it is, but very small percentage. If you want to start burning fat more easily, you need to move more. Just any way possible. In the bedroom, at home, in the backyard, on the way to work, in the office. Just move more. Yeah, whatever. Anything.
Shout out to Jenny Craig for these, by the way.
Yeah,
Love your work, Jenny. Just keeping me.
Yeah. So just move more, do more movement, and that make it. You know, that's what stacks the numbers, and you'll see that on your Fitbit. And on the same level field as that, you want to make sure that you're eating consistently. So if you're right now you're having no breakfast, but then tomorrow you're having a deluxe big breakfast with 2 sausages and egg McMuffins and all that, cut that out, rein it back in, keep it consistent. Because if you can consistently eat the same or similar portions around the same times of the day, that's going to give you feedback, right? And after 7 or 14 days of doing that, you're not losing weight, then you know you're still over consuming. So you got to think, okay, where can I just cut back a little bit? Maybe I don't need that extra glass of wine at night, and maybe I should just have 1 or 2 instead of 5. So awareness, self-awareness, start practicing self-awareness.
Dude, great advice, bro. I think that's not too complicated either. Easy to
I
take
hope
on. Yeah, no. Self-discipline, bro.
That's what I would do with my clients. Like I didn't want to give some, hocus pocus like steps. I just wanted to literally give you what the process I would go with my clients. But we obviously do it in a more structured way. That's the theory behind what we do.
Dude, this gets me into the most exciting part. Obviously, it's been really exciting speaking with you so far.
Another part.
But I want to get into this. Tell the audience about your famous training.
The 4-step MAP, which stands for Metabolic Ascension Protocol, heavily catered around building up your metabolism so that you can lose body fat more easily and keep it off for the long term. There's 4 steps to it, and all of those steps are very simple to do once you understand them, but essentially it's just the truth. It's what it is. If you double down on these 4, there's no fifth. Like once you count to number 1, 2, 3, 4, it goes to 5, or there is no 5. It's these 4 things. You do these right, you'll lose body fat, you keep it off, you'll never see diets the same way, and you'll start to think like me and yourself, Adrian. This is the nuts and bolts. This is all the gimmicks and all the bullcrap has all been built on this foundation. So once you know this, you can focus on what actually works and double down on that.
Dude, I'm excited. Where can they get access to that?
Just on my website. So that's efficientfitnesscoaching.com. Just go straight to that. Click the button, watch the video, and then from there, if you have any more questions, you can reach out.
I'll add the link that goes along with this video so they can get immediate access to it. Highly recommend that you go and opt in and download that bad boy because there is lots of gold in there, actionable, that will help you start making the right choices for your body and your health now. Because you know what, dude? Like when you look at it, if you invest a little bit of time in learning the education side of it, dude, like you live the rest of your days with the education, the tools, and the mindset to never have to worry about that again.
Yes, that was my exact thoughts once I decided to get into fitness, was that once I learn this, I know it. And then same for you. Like once you know this, you won't forget it.
Yeah.
It's like learning English. You can't unlearn English.
Zach, what do you want the listener to take away from today?
I feel like I've thrown 100 different things already, but I think take away whatever stood out to you the most, whatever I've said, even if it's one sentence, one word, if it's pinged you, do something with that. Don't just be like, oh, that was a good video. Thanks. Like, no, go do something. Watch the 4 steps. Go buy that program you've been eyeing off. Sign up to that coach that you like. Do something. Start tracking. Just whatever stood out to you the most, that triggered you, or you thought, you know what, I could do that. Go do it. No one's stopping you. No one's got a gun to your head. Just do it. Action speaks louder than words.
Dude, take one action today, my friend. One action.
Whatever that is for you, the most important one. Do that.
Yeah. So if you're watching this live stream at the moment, what is one action that you're going to take away from today, from our discussion here? And if you're watching this recording, make sure that you hit up the awesome Zac Mason. Grab his free training that goes along with this video. Zach, any final thoughts, my man?
I don't want to open up a whole new can of worms and rabbit hole, but we're in 2021, Q1's down, we're halfway into April. You still got plenty of time to get in shape this year.
Yep.
Plenty of time.
Start now.
You got to start now.
Yep.
Don't put it off.
Action.
What for?
Boom.
There we go.
Zach, absolute gold, brother. Mate, thank you so much for your time today, dude. It's been an absolute ripper of a time speaking with another Aussie, by the way. Usually I speak with a lot of people from all around the globe. It's great to speak with an Aussie, cool Aussie from Sydney, Australia. Put another shrimp on the barbie.
We never say that, by the way.
I know.
Where's the prawns? Give us the prawns.
Give us a prawn, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, mate, thank you. Love your
No,
work.
thanks, mate. No, thank you for inviting me on. Appreciate it. It's been fun.
Zach, keep smashing it, bro. I'm super pumped for what's to come, brother.
Me too.
See you, bro.
Now it's time for you to get the most out of this and comment below. This is where I will personally come in and give you the answers that you need. And as always, the best discussions happen over at leewayfitness.com.au. This is where I can give you all the guides, programs, and insights I can't fit into these videos. Plus the free diets and workouts are waiting for you now. And if you like this video, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss a video and I can send them straight to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon in the Leeway Lifestyle community.